Welcome to Musings and Magic. I'm Lauren Fortuna Flock. I'm a mother, doula, the host of the Well-Nourished Mother podcast, and a somatic matrescence guide. I support mothers through the waves of intensity motherhood brings, so they can fall in love with the mother they are and the mother they're becoming.
And I'm Nicole Pasvier, a mom, wife, and host of the Rewild and Free podcast. I help women awaken beyond the conditioning that's been keeping them pretty, perfect, and pleasing so that they can live more consciously, mother intuitively, and grow their business holistically.
We've never met in real life, and we live 700 miles apart.
But we've been holding space for each other virtually since 2022 when we found each other in super similar seasons of life.
Yeah, we were both in our retiring from a super secure nursing job, in the thick of postpartum, and starting a heart-led business era. We found ourselves chatting for hours on Zoom almost weekly, having the deep, why isn't anyone talking about this conversations around all things motherhood and conscious entrepreneurship.
So we started recording these unfiltered and unscripted conversations to bring you this co-created series. We're inviting you in with deep trust that you'll receive whatever insight, wisdom, or solidarity you need in this season, because we all know motherhood and entrepreneurship are lonely as fuck.
Yeah, we're blending our musings with a touch of magic, the kind of woo-woo, more spiritual, witchy stuff that we're both so curious about, but don't fully relate to.
Yet.
Our intention is to invite more ritual into our lives, so we're using this series to anchor into the cycle of the moon, meeting on the full and new moons of each month. We'll do an energy check-in and explore nuanced conversations around big topics related to cyclical orientation, feminine embodiment in business and motherhood, and our own personal explorations related to reclaiming our inner witch.
So if you're ready to come laugh, learn, and reflect with us, then keep listening. But first, we invite you to take the deepest breath you've given to yourself yet today. And when you're ready, let's go. Hey, friend.
Hello.
Welcome to our June Musings and Magic full moon episode.
Yeah. And
we are on
full disclosure.
Yeah, we're on the ball.
Yeah, we're on the ball. We're extra on the ball because we're actually recording this like a full week before the full moon.
It's Thursday, right? And I think the full moon's on a Wednesday. So yeah. Okay, let's just jump in. I'm on cycle day 2. I actually know for once I'm on cycle day 2.
Oh, wow.
And I was actually just reflecting out loud to a mutual friend of ours, doesn't matter who. If she's listening, she might know who she is, that I feel really good when I'm bleeding. Like, I almost feel like most myself when I'm bleeding, because there's like this clarity around discerning what's mine versus what's outside of me. And I feel like my energy, obviously it's like a little bit lower, but my energy just feels more genuine versus like when I'm ovulating, I'm quick to kind of teeter into that like buzzy urgency frequency, which kind of feels good short term, but it doesn't feel good long term. And so like the energy level that I feel during my bleed just feels really like genuine and safe and sustainable. And I don't know, does that even make sense? Am I crazy?
Yeah. Hey, does it have to make sense?
No, it doesn't. And I mean, I've been noticing this for like several cycles now. I almost like look forward to my bleed, right? I don't necessarily feel this way end of luteal. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. Things feel pretty wobbly right now. But then, yeah, as soon as my bleed starts, as soon as my period starts, it's like there's this release and this like exhale. It's like a full body exhale. That's what it feels like. There we go.
Yeah, I can relate to that feeling, especially on months where my cycle goes a little bit longer and I feel like I'm really waiting, like I'm waiting for something, I'm waiting for this release. And then it's like finally when it happens, yeah, I notice the shift so much as well. But yeah, it's funny. I just tried to look at my app to see, and I love that I have to rely on the app. And somehow it got all screwed up and like my last period was deleted. So now it says I'm on day 52. That's not true. Yeah, cool. So I'm like, my data is all screwed up. But I think I'm on like day 20 something. I'm like post ovulation, early luteal.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember in our last episode if you had talked about or if you had already had your iron transfusion.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I talked about it, but I hadn't had it yet. So
Okay,
I've had
yeah.
it now on the
Tell the
15th.
people how you've been feeling.
Yeah, I've been feeling good. It's subtle, like it's hard to put to words because it's so subtle, but like you actually mirrored this back to me that like I've done a couple like really busy days where in the morning I'm doing a postpartum shift for 4 hours and then I'm going to work as a nurse for an 8 hour shift. And I'm like doing great through that whole time. Like I'm not feeling exhausted. I come home, I'm fine. I go to bed fine. So that's a big shift because I would have never been able to do that prior to this. So that's neat. So more like prolonged, sustained energy. I'm interested to see what happens with this cycle, to see, yeah, if my flow is a bit lighter, if, yeah, just to kind of see what happens.
Yeah.
I have noticed, I feel like what I would call like ADHD style,
You're born.
flair. Yeah, it's all still there. And that was kind of a question for me. I almost feel like this ADHD imposter sometimes because I'm not diagnosed. I'm just suspected. And it's always been like, oh, maybe most of this is because of, chronic low iron. And I'm sure it's contributed. But I was saying to you the other day, like all of those symptoms or whatever you want to call them, they're not just symptoms, they're who I am, how I am. They're still there, but I'm finding them less stressful.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know
what
if that's,
me is like the anxiety around them is less.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm not feeling as overwhelmed by it. Like, whereas before, yeah. And in general, for the last couple weeks, I feel very like regulated,
I love that.
true sense of the word.
Yeah.
Not calm, just regulated. I'm flexible. Which I have not been for a very long time. So that's a cool experience as well. And now my vain hope is that my hair starts to grow back because it is so thin. I did a French braid the other day. You should have seen this thing. It looked like my kitten's tail.
Oh,
Like it was like this. I'm like holding up my pinky finger, this big. It was the saddest.
speaking of kitten,
Yeah, speaking of kitten, we got a kitten yesterday. He's 10 weeks old. My daughter Zoe named him Blueberry. He has bright blue eyes. He's a Siamese. He's adorable. Right now, I can hear them upstairs. I can hear her running around, like playing with this kitten. So
is
that's been fun.
your cat that you already had. How old is June?
She's like four and a
Yeah,
bit, I think, 4.5.
not a kitten. So like
No,
Zoe doesn't get that like playfulness with her that she
not
gets
as much.
with a kitten. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Their energy is matching right now.
Love it. Short term, but love it.
hmm
Okay, what else? I feel like we actually have something kind of juicy that we want to anchor this episode around, but there was something that you just said around symptoms. You said like ADHD symptoms, and then you kind of backtracked. It's like, but they're not really symptoms, right? It's me,
Yeah.
trait, right? And like, I want to talk about that for a second, right? I feel like in the natural minded, holistic, sovereign health echo chamber that we see online, there's like a lot of talk and like I mean even just like the obsession with like root causes, which I'm
hmm
for. Like I can obsess over a root cause too. And also at what point does obsessing over the root cause of a quote unquote symptom kind of take you out of the present moment and take you out of just like being with your actual experience, right? It truly takes you out of embodiment in a way because now you're
hmm
in like fix it, solve it, something's wrong land.
Yeah.
I must control, I must change this, I must fix and solve. But where I was going to go with this is how, yeah, there's just so much talk out there about like specifically neurodivergent symptoms or neurodivergent traits about what the potential root cause is, right? And there's like even you just named it, like were some of my ADHD symptoms or traits actually masked as something else? And I know I've kind of asked myself those questions related to autism, like are the traits, the communication, the quote unquote symptoms we're seeing, are they actually from something else? And I just think it's so interesting how like our mind wants to go there. And I get it because there's empowerment there in a way, right? Especially if there is an answer. And also, like, I'm just sitting with, like, but does it also just take you out of being present? And I think there's something really meaningful about just accepting what is. And acceptance doesn't mean affirming. Like, it's not saying, like, I love this. I'm just accepting that this is my experience right now. And actually the empowerment is like, how do I want to hold space for myself in this experience? Or in my case,
Hmm.
how do I want to hold space for my daughter in this experience? Because it's fucking exhausting if I'm always trying to think about like, oh, what's the symptom from? What did I do wrong? What are we feeding her that did this? What did she watch that did this? Right. And that's just, I've decided that's no way to live.
Yeah, and I think there's like a delicate balance there, right? There's nuance there, of course, of like self-responsibility.
Yep.
Like, sure, if I could just accept that I'm tired all the time and my iron is low and all of that,
I feel like
but
that's
I took,
because I think there's also that inner knowing of like, no, I know things could be better.
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Thanks for letting me ride that train for a second. Um, okay, so we've made another course correction with Held. I can't even remember what the last episode was, but I think since then we've now decided to make it more of like a monthly membership. But oh my God, we both want to throw up at the word membership.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not a membership, but it is. It's better than a membership. Uh, and so yeah, we've made that shift, but then we've recently done another course correction where we're officially gonna start in September as opposed to this month. And so we kind of wanted to talk about that process for us.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think like, I don't know, some people might cringe at how we're doing this, and I
There's a
don't
part of
care.
me, there's a like we named this yesterday. Like there's a tiny part of me that is cringing, and I'm that tiny part of me is saying like, "Oh, you guys are flaky. Oh, are you just like people pleasing? Are you
Hmm.
just like insecure?" Because like full disclosure, in all of these what I'm calling course corrections, we have been responding to feedback that we've been getting from people. And we have been, I would say, just like attuned to the people's needs in that feedback, but also like our own energy and recognize, wait a minute, like summer actually feels kind of full. And when we were still making it like a 6 month kind of closed container, that in itself felt almost forced. Like that's what we should do because that's going to make us the most money. I mean, that's not why we did it, but right, we kind of realized like, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Let's
Hmm.
soften this. Let's create more space for them and us. And then I think with this most recent course correction, there was that thought of, okay, we don't actually have any signups right now. So that gave us a choice point. I think
Yeah.
if we did have signups, we then would have felt obligated to stay committed to what we started. And so there's a part of me that's actually like, fuck yeah, I'm glad we didn't have signups because it's given us that spaciousness to continue to check in with ourselves and like just respond to the feedback we're getting.
Yeah, and like launching and creating something and putting it out to the world, like it's a vulnerable process. And I personally love that we're sharing like the behind the scenes of that here because we're not like 10-year veterans of this kind of work. We are, still toddlers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like in our businesses. So yeah, like we're learning as we go too. And that's not to say that we aren't skilled and like what we want to share and what we're going to share and what we're creating is oh so valuable. But the process of like how to launch it, what we want it to look like it's been actually really, like you said, like spacious to be able to kind of approach it from this place of play rather than it having to be so serious. And if we were so,
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. You keep talking. You were on a roll.
yeah, I kind of lost it, but that's okay. You shut up, Nicole.
Oh, fucking shit. I don't
Um,
have it right now. You were about to say
um,
just the spaciousness that we've tapped into play and there isn't that like seriousness to it.
yes, yes. And that if we were coming at this from like, oh, we have to be serious and so professional, and do it like all the other people do it, then we wouldn't have, course corrected or changed anything. We would have been sticking it out with our original plan. And like that just doesn't feel innovative. That doesn't feel like it's tuning into creativity and what's feeling alive for us in this season because like we were talking about, like we're mothers too. We're not just these robotic entrepreneurs that have 80 hours a week to, to work on our businesses. We're not creating that type of business together or separately. So I feel like this is us actually embodying what this like embodied business actually gets to look like. It means that you have flexibility. It means you get to do whatever the hell you want, pretty much. Like that's how I like
Yeah.
approaching it. And at the same time, like we don't want it to be confusing for people and this is where that conversation of like, okay, are we kind of towing the line here of are we just people pleasing or are we shifting gears because it's what feels the most true for us and the people in our audience who we're getting this feedback from. So we're aware of that. And I think that's the beauty of this partnership too, is that we are so conscious of these patterns that we each have and, the things that we might kind of tip into. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to circle back into just this word of play and like what does play
Mhm.
even look like? What does playfulness look like in a launch? What does playfulness look like in the creative process? And I think we've kind of lost that art. And if you really like come back to what creation is and you think of like how messy creation truly is and I don't know, art or like sculpting or like whatever
Mhm.
thing it is, like that is messy. It takes a lot of like trial and error, for lack of a better word, before that final masterpiece actually comes to be. And I think what's really coming to mind right now is something that I say all the time, like the action brings clarity,
Mm.
right? Like you have to take action in order for the next steps to be revealed to you. So, like looking
Yeah.
back, we had to do everything we've done to this point to get to where we are today,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's coming up for me too is I think we both, in our own way, have a little bit of this impulsive
Yeah, but again, like
flair
we've owned like that, like we've kind of like owned that as a superpower in a way too, and that might be some of
for
like
sure.
divergent spiciness. It might be right the stuff like the inner rebel, right? It's all of it, right? But that is us.
Exactly.
We want to infuse that into our business.
Yeah, and we're following the breadcrumbs of our curiosity. We're launching things, maybe not when they're fully ready and fully sculpted and full, a finished piece of art. It's we're deciding that no, we're gonna follow the passion now. We're excited about it. Let's share about it now. And if we need to edit and, shift things around as we go, then that's how we're gonna do it. Is that right? Is that wrong? Somebody's probably gonna be like, no, you shouldn't do that. But it's working for us. And yeah.
Yeah, it is working for us. And I think that's the thing is we keep checking in of like, what does this actually feel like in our bodies, into our nervous systems, right? And again, you said like this is an embodiment of what we kind of live and preach, embodied business. Like this is embodied business. I also want to circle back to this idea of people pleasing. And you and I actually haven't like talked about this publicly anywhere, but I want to talk about like the pathologization of people pleasing and how we can often be so quick to just label, oh, that's like my people pleasing tendency, or oh, I'm people pleasing again. I better like heal that. And like, can we actually talk about what it means to like just the blurriness of meeting someone's need, like people pleasing, I think at its core means you're appeasing someone else, and in that process, you're betraying yourself know that we're not people pleasing because even though we are quote unquote appeasing someone else, we're not abandoning ourselves. We
Mhm.
actually feel better in the decisions that we're making. But by
Yeah.
responding to someone else, it's like widening this this field of possibility, giving us an option that we didn't even think existed.
Mhm.
We're like, oh yeah, we could do that. Ooh, why don't we do that? Ooh, how does that feel in our bodies? Ooh, ooh. And then it's just like following these pings, these breadcrumbs, as you described.
Yeah, and like I don't think we would have had these course corrections. We keep calling them course corrections, and I don't even think I really like that phrase because it's insinuating that something was wrong and like we're correcting it, we're
I
taking a
feel like
new
we're coming closer into alignment,
yeah.
whatever that means.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
So
like
these
again,
shifts,
action brings clarity. We had to do all these steps to get to where we are today.
for sure. And what I was going to say is I feel like we wouldn't have, done any of these shifts if we weren't receiving feedback from people in our audiences being like, "Hey, like I love this. I want to join." and whatever their feedback is. Like we've taken that feedback, we hear you. And then we've also been talking, like you've said, on the back end, like our own capacity over the summer and like what feels more spacious. And so it's like blending all of that together. And I think that's what's so needed in this like field of work as mother serving professionals. Like we're serving mothers for the most part, right? Mothers and families, they're not robots. Like they maybe can't meet on a Monday at
They
9 a.m. because
of motherhood, you get to unapologetically be flaky. So, as a
yeah,
stakeholder for mothers, how do we respond to that
yes.
flakiness in a way that doesn't like cause rupture on either side, right?
Yeah, yeah. And even flaky, like
Or not.
same thing. I don't like that word either. Flexibility is what we get to offer. Flexibility and options and unique schedules, like things that haven't even been done before. Like we get to play in that realm and offer mothers containers and experiences that get to meet them where they're at, whatever season that they're in. And that's what I truly feel like we're doing, even with this. Not to say that all mother serving professionals are mothers themselves, but a lot of them are. So we're kind of offering that same flexibility. Yeah. And it's like, it's fun. It's fun to make up new ways to do these things and not just copy what somebody else is doing or what's been done before or what you should do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you named it. It's play.
It's play.
It's play.
Yeah.
Not work.
Mm. Yeah.
There was something else that I wanted to comment on, and now, of course, it's gone. Oh, I think just again, this idea of being responsive is a way to build relationship.
Mm.
And another thing that we talk about often is like building a relational business versus like a transactional business.
Yeah.
And so I think again, this is kind of a modeling of what that can look like. Like you said, we are taking in the feedback, we are responding to it, but even more than that, we're like running it through our own filter so that we also get to like respond to ourselves too. And that's, I think, exactly what makes this not people pleasing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I feel like we had so much more to say on this, but maybe that was it. Maybe we're actually just like concise for once. What?
What is this? I know. I thought this was going to take like a lot of explaining and
Oh, that just felt really good though. I think like you said too, like it's nice to share our process out loud. That's something that I always enjoy doing. Sometimes for me it ends up coming out maybe over explaining. Um, but no, like I think it's really helpful, especially because like you said, the stuff we're doing is a bit unconventional. It's like outside of the normal realm. And so it can be really helpful to get to hear this stuff out loud so that if you are navigating, you as not you, Lauren, you as in the listener, people, hello, um, you
hello, hello.
you can kind of see yourself in us, right? And you can be like, oh, this gives me just the permission slip that I didn't know I needed to maybe do things differently as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the beauty of having your own business, the beauty of being a creator, the beauty of, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
sovereignty.
Okay. So I think like, yeah, so Held is now this monthly membership. We need a different word for that. It's like a
It's a
blend of
subscription model.
subscription model. It's twice monthly calls. We're blending both like community and coaching. Really, nothing has changed except for just the spaciousness to truly set your own pace. Because I think that was something we realized when we were, marketing Held as a 6 month closed container. We kept using the language of like your pace business space. And I think there was like a check-in moment for us of like, wait a minute, how is this actually your pace if we're creating this rigid timeline of like start and finish 6 months, we also felt almost like constrained and like stifled by that 6 month window. We never wanted like a really rigid curriculum, but we were even struggling of like, how are we going to actually lay this out? What's this actually going to look like? And then as soon as we kind of planted that seed of, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be this way. Um,
Mhm.
that all of that kind of floated away, right? That feeling of being constrained and like being attached to a timeline that was never actually real, it instantly brought more spaciousness to both our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the content, like you said, is the same. This is still like a blend of inner mastery and business magic. And yeah, like 2 calls a month, one will be focused more on that inner mastery piece. So like it's a call that's all about you. It's about your nervous system, your body, your truth. And we'll gather to do like a somatic practice or nervous system exploration of some sort, breath work, a guided experience of some sort. It's all about you and like honing those skills of attuning to your own inner world so that you can hold space for others so well, like you do.
I see those calls as being like nourishment calls, right? Like,
Yeah.
as cliche as it sounds, it's where your cup gets to be filled up.
Yeah.
And so
And that's what's missing.
that is what's missing, right? But I also like envision those calls as like, come with your camera off, come like snuggled in bed, just with headphones in and receive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then in
There's nothing to
contrast,
do.
the business magic calls, those ones are going to be more probably what people are expecting, right? More of a mastermind, for lack of a better word, type call, right? Where we're potentially bringing in certain themes to anchor the call with, but we're also creating so much space to really just say, hey, what's alive in like your business right now? What are you working through? Let's
Yeah.
soundboard. Let's, yeah, like lean on each other.
Yeah. And all from this lens of like doing things a new way, creating embodied businesses
Yeah. We're
that are
going
relational. So, yeah, outside of these 2 calls, we'll have like a true Slack community. We're going to facilitate this thing. It's not just a here's the community and then it's crickets. Like, we are going to,
crazy. Have you been in one of those, right? This is not
yeah.
the type of Slack community where you join and then like forget it exists. Lauren and I are determined and devoted to, yeah, like facilitate it. We're going to show up. We're going to keep that space alive. We're going to offer prompts and invite you into engagement, right? When you see fit.
Yeah. Yeah. And like our hope is that, yeah, you use it as a true community. Like building a business alone sucks. Like it just sucks. And how nice would it be to have this like community in your pocket that you can go to, send a voice note, vent,
Yeah.
share your joy, share your wins. Like, hey, this is what I'm working through. What do you guys think? Like, what a beautiful model for serving mothers
Well,
and
and
for
again, like
building.
we've heard from you. We've heard from people identifying this feeling of loneliness in the sense of they know that they have kind of supports in place. They have great friends. They have even other like biz besties. They have an awesome husband, whatever it is, but there's still that like, but none of these people truly get it. And this is
Yeah.
it. This is why this is for mother serving visionaries. This isn't for any mother serving professional. This is for the mother serving space holder that truly wants to like softly in her own way change the world and change the way mothers are cared for. And in order to
Yeah.
do that, you have to be like a little delusional. You have to have some like weird, wacky, witchy, wild, crazy ideas. And those weird, wild, witchy, crazy ideas sometimes feel impossible. But when you surround yourself with other people that are like, fuck yeah, you can do that. Or yeah, I'm doing that too, but it looks like this. Like
Mhm.
it just builds you up.
Yeah. Yeah. And we like to say that, in Inside Held, we're doing life, leadership, and embodied business together because we're not separating things. We're not saying don't bring your mom stuff to the group. We're not saying don't bring, your relationship stuff to the group. We're not separating. That's what embodied business is. It's all of you, all of who you are. Bring it to the group.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Like this is true community, and that's what we're going for. We're doing it all together.
Okay. So basically, the way it's set up right now, assuming we don't change our minds anymore, we have 10 founding member spots open. And so if you join as a founding member, you lock in your monthly rate at $66. Once those 10 spots are filled, the the investment is going to be 111. Did I say that right? 111.
Yep. Per
That's
month. Yep.
money rolling out of my mouth. $111 a month. And so yeah, these 10 spots, they're up for grabs now. If you join, you pay $66 to essentially secure your spot and secure that rate. And then ultimately that payment covers September and your billing cycle, your monthly payments will officially begin on October.
Yep. And
We're starting in September. Did we even say that?
no
That was big. That was the most recent
shift.
shift is pushing back the start date to September now.
Yeah. Yeah. So lock in now. There's 10 spots at 66 per month. USD, if you're Canadian and that exchange rate is a barrier, send us a message. We've got a coupon code for you. So yeah, lock in 66 per month now. You're essentially paying for September now, and then your monthly billing cycle will begin October 1st, and our first call is September 9th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
clear
kind
as
of
mud, right?
behind the scenes, like thinking out loud. Like we were talking about this earlier today, actually, just how good this feels to offer this founding member. I mean, it's kind of like a pre-sale, I guess, to offer
Yeah.
this pre-sale because now we're potentially creating this like base and this foundation so that when we actually start in September, there already is a community. Because there was a
Yeah.
lot of clunkiness and like, oh, how do you like this slow build, right? Communities, like I think a good community is a slow build. It is going to be a slow
Mhm.
build, but this is just creating kind of that a juicy lead up to what am I trying to say? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, just a good way to kind of get people excited and use the time over the summer to, yeah, get people excited and start that slow build of this community. Um, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Steal our idea if you want. What else is going on for us?
Hmm. Life's just busy right now. And it's funny, like we're talking about how, we're shifting to starting this in September. And that was actually one of my hesitations when we first were talking about held and how to bring it into the world. And I was like, oh, I don't know if starting in the summer is like the greatest idea, but we were kind of riding that like high of we're excited about this, let's get it out there. Because yeah, summer's busy and I think it's busy for everyone and it should be fun and it should be, a time to kind of chill and be with your family and do all the things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we've got our first camping trip, not next week, but the week after, just for a couple nights. So, starting to get ready for that. And then, like, three more camping trips in July. And the second half of August is all camping. And so, it's a lot. So, it feels extra juicy that we've decided to make this shift and kind of move things to kick off in September.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And other than that, my life has been filled with like so much postpartum doula work right now. It's been so lovely. I get to cuddle babies. I'm helping support moms. I'm getting the amazing feedback. It doesn't feel like work, and I absolutely love it. So it's good busy. It's busy, but it's good busy.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like when you said busy the first time, I'm like, is it busy or is it just full? Right?
It's fall. Yeah.
In a sense even has like a negative connotation to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, full. You like that feeling of fullness
Yeah.
is satisfying.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the difference. It's very
yeah,
satisfying. Yeah.
yeah. I love that for you. It's been such a joy to like witness you in this season. You keep messaging me like, "Oh, I just hired on another client." And like you keep just being gifted. Like they drop from the sky the most aligned clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. And like shout out to Jerry Tate once again. Copywriter extraordinaire because honestly, I think my website, like I'm absolutely obsessed with my website. And I think that's one of the main pieces that's like drawing people in, of course, my podcast, social media when I'm on there. But yeah, it feels good to be like, okay, something's clicking, something's working. I'm being my true authentic self and people are picking up on that. Um, yeah, it's a neat
Yeah.
feeling.
I want to like even zoom in on that for a second though, because I think a lot of, especially like newer doulas or newer coaches really get slowed down by thinking that they need to have a website like up and running. And I truly believe that is such a myth. Obviously, there's so much value in a website, especially if you offer in-person work because Google and all that shit. But I think if you don't necessarily know who you are yet, your
Hmm.
website actually can't be that good. And so like of course you're giving credit to Jerry because she helped you with the
Hmm.
copywriting of it, but like that copywriting, that your ability to even answer some of the prompts that she probably
Yep.
guided you through only
Yep.
happened because it was like years in the making. And again,
Yeah. And
that
like,
brings clarity. I know that is such an annoying thing to hear.
it's true. It's true. And it's funny, like when I look back, like, yeah, I've made like probably four different versions of a website and I have like notebooks filled with ideas. And it was all abstract because I wasn't actually doing the work yet. I wasn't actually serving mothers yet. I couldn't. I was still early postpartum. Um, so it's like it was all just, imagined. And it wasn't until I actually started doing the work first that all of that clarity came, which is so annoying, but so true. So yeah, you're right. It was my messaging was clear because I know what I stand for and what it is I'm actually offering now and what I believe in about any of this. And of course, that can all shift and change again, and I'm sure it will, but it just feels really good to like have something that feels aligned with me right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
yeah, if you're a new doula, like just get out there and start doing it. Like put flyers up. You don't even have to have a website. Put flyers up in midwife offices, in gyms, libraries. Start there.
yeah.
And
I think
then once you,
the other thing that's coming to mind, and I think I made a reel about this, or we made a reel, my gene analogy, right? Like how business strategy is kind of like trying on jeans. It shifts and evolves, and everyone hates jean shopping. Um, because it feels like nothing fits. And I feel like business, especially in the beginning, feels like that. Like, oh, nothing fits. And that can be so discouraging. But again, this really annoying truth that like action brings clarity. You just have to keep going. You have to start feeling into like, okay, this feels good, this doesn't. Okay, these jeans fit really well when I'm ovulating, but I fucking want to rip them off when I'm like bloated and about to have my period, right? You have to start learning your own essence and your own rhythms and like all of the
yeah.
things. And I mean, this really is what we want to talk about inside Held. This really is like
Hmm.
what we mean by embodied business is like actually reflecting on these things and paying attention and attuning yourself to your nervous system and your cycles and all the things, right? All the things.
Yeah. Yeah. And like trusting the season that you're in.
Yeah.
Like all that time where I was trying to build a website and like trying to kind of almost get ahead of myself, I wasn't trusting the season I was in. I wasn't trusting that I was in like a building phase where, I wasn't really able to actually get out there and be serving mothers in the way I wanted to yet. But I was growing the roots. I was doing the behind the scenes education and, exploring things and figuring out, like you said, like what fits, what doesn't. But I was so eager that I was like, I kept trying to get ahead of myself and like, oh, I need the website now. I need the website now. And it never fit and it never worked out. And I was never happy with it because it wasn't truly embodied. It wasn't that season yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, I think like we're both ambitious people, I would say, but it's almost like our own ambition is sometimes what like burns us out or like suffocates us. And so it's a really fun kind of puzzle to chew on of like how do you match or how do you not dismiss or ignore your ambition and still honor your reality.
Yeah. Your season, your capacity. Yeah.
And obviously, there's no like one size fits all answer to that. And I think that's the entire problem with most of the online business and coaching industry is they're trying to tell us there is. But again, I think that's what sets you and I apart. That's what sets Held apart. That's what sets all of our offers apart is that we're really helping you find that answer for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Again, that's not even going to be a one-time answer.
Hmm. Yeah. It's
Because
going to evolve.
Yeah, it's going to evolve because you are going to evolve. Your seasons, your cycles are going to evolve. Your values,
Yeah.
your priorities, it's all going to evolve.
It's like looking
Our
at,
capacity to hold ourselves through the evolution.
yeah. And like looking at your business and your life as the living, breathing kind of ecosystem that it is. It's dynamic, it's ever changing. We're not just
Yeah.
building once. And I mean, if we were selling a physical product and that was it, it might be a little bit different. But we're talking about holding space for people. We're talking about serving mothers.
Wait, can you say that
Um,
again, Lauren? We're talking about holding space for people.
yeah,
We are holding space for people, like people. Like I think we have to remember that we are a person, right? We're not a robot, but we're also not holding space for robots. We're not
yeah,
holding space for cookie cutter clients. And so again, this is why it's so important to have that flexibility, to be able to be present, to be able to respond.
yeah,
And I mean, right, that's part of the art of holding space.
yeah,
Not a
yeah.
script. It's not a textbook checklist. It's let me actually see you as the person, as the human
Hmm.
that's in front of me, and let me also like see myself. Let me
Hmm.
see where our edges are, and then how do we relate to one another?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Dynamic humans, ever changing. Hmm.
Okay. Anything else? It's my birthday month this month. I feel like in the past, I've been kind of low key about my birthday, even though deep down, I'm always obsessed with it. I love my birthday. And I think for me, it's like,
Okay, wait, wait, wait. The fact that you started this by saying it's my birthday month.
exactly, that tells
You
you,
are
right?
not low key about your
Um,
birthday.
no, but I'm saying in the past, I have been. In the past, I've been very low key about my birthday. And this year specifically, I've decided no, I am like unapologetically going to express my obsession. Um, because it's like it just feels like a big month for me. I don't know if it's also because it's like a change in seasons with like the summer solstice and obviously just like coming into summer, the energy is different. There's a lot of other like shifts and transitions in life this time of year anyways. And I think like looking back because it was always the end of a school year, that also felt really exciting. So yeah, just overall June historically has always felt like a really big month for me. And yeah, I'm unapologetically going to own and express my excitement and obsession with it. And yeah, happy birthday month to me.
Happy birthday month to you. Amazing.
I have some like fun things going on, but people can obviously follow me if they want to see them.
Mhm.
I I was gonna say something else. I think just about like again, speaking of like seasons and cycles and stuff, obviously this is kind of a new season and cycle for me, right? It's literally another year around the sun. And it truly does always feel like a new chapter starting. And so, like, yeah, I'm just really leaning into, I guess, bringing some like sacredness and some intention around it and like reflecting on the last year and like the years previous and also like visioning for the years to come. And yeah, I don't know that I've really brought that much intention to my birthday in the past, but it just feels really fun this year.
Yeah, I like that. And I think I'm gonna let that rub off on me because
Mm.
my birthday month will be next month.
Yeah, and you
And
get a
I think
month too.
and I think I was telling you that like I'm turning 36 this year. And like, and ages have never bothered me. I've never been like, oh my God, I turned 30 or anything like that. But for some reason, 36 feels big to me. I don't know why. I don't know what's around that, but it's a good reminder to like this year maybe take some time and actually be more intentional about it and reflect and yeah, like dig into that a little bit.
Yeah. Age is
So
such a
thanks.
funny thing, hey, because I was also saying to you that like I'm turning 31 this month. And last year when I turned 30, I finally, for the first time in my life, felt my age. I have always felt older. I've always felt more mature than like my peers. It was always reflected back to me, oh, Nicole, you're wise beyond your years and whatever else adults like to say to people. And then on the flip side, I also remember like in nursing, when I was nursing, I'd have patients that are like, are you old enough to be my nurse? And even when I first became a mom and like I'd have newborn Aubrey, like, are you old enough to be a mom? Or the classic, like some solicitor rings the doorbell and I open, are your parents home? Are you actually the homeowner? So it's just this funny like juxtaposition of like I'm either seen as being younger or older. And yeah, it's just funny how like finally turning 30, I kind of feel my age and I feel like I don't know, like finding myself. Should we leave it there? This is a fun one.
Yeah. Look at us being all concise.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, let's leave it there. Obviously, all the links that people need are in the show notes. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're going to continue to try to do these musings and magic episodes around the full moon of each month. So tune in for July, Lauren's
Yeah.
birthday month. And then, as always, if anything lands or stirs, we truly do want to hear from you. As we just said, like we love being able to take in feedback and respond. And I mean, there's also that part of us that loves like the validation, right? We want to be celebrated and stuff too. So like if you love these podcast episodes, we want to hear it because it just feels good to receive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So any questions about anything ever, health especially, reach out, send a DM, let's chat.
Yeah. Or even like
Yeah.
any ideas of like things you'd like Lauren and I specifically to talk about together. Because obviously we both have our podcasts, but if there's something specific that would be fun for both of us, that'd be cool. Let us know.
Yeah. Let us know for sure.
Okay.
Okay. See you next time.